welcome to Ginger Welsh Allotments. I am Bethan and today I'm doing a harvest over on the plot and I'm going to start with some potatoes. I'm off to Wales tomorrow to visit my family and I'll probably be staying there for about a week or 2 weeks, and so I thought I'd take a harvest with me so I could give to my parents, and I know my mum will be really pleased to see all this lovely fresh produce, as she's always really appreciative of anything I grow in the garden and she's always really encouraging, so I always like to give her something that I know she's going to really enjoy. So that's what we were doing today. I'll just take you around and show you how things are growing as I'm harvesting, and if I have time, the other thing I want to do is finish weeding around this plum tree, because I started it the other morning but I didn't get around to finishing it, and I'd like to get that finished for going away. So let's get on with the potato reveal. This variety is Nicola. It's the first Nicola I've unearthed, so the Charlottes were really good, so it'll be interesting to see what these are like. Looking pretty good so far. So that's all the potatoes from one pot with one seed potato in it. So I'm pleased with that. I know a lot of people have struggled with their potatoes this year, but mine haven't been too bad so far, I'll say. Hopefully I'm not cursing myself. So I'll carry on with the rest of the harvest, and the soil I'll just keep and I'll reinvigorate it with some blood fish and bone and my own compost, and I'll just use it to either mulch beds or as a base for new raised beds. So I'll give my mum a couple of my onions. These onions I grew from seed and they're okay. They're a bit small really, they won't last me very long, they might last me about 3 months, and I have made a bit of a boo-boo because I unearthed them and I left them on the ground to dry for a couple of days, and I went away to a wedding, and when I was away it rained, so they got wet, and I thought, oh, I'll leave them on there to dry for a bit longer, and it rained again, so I don't think they'll store very well anyway, which is a bit of a moot point as they won't last that long anyway. So I'll just get a couple of beetroots and some carrots from here, and some of the purple carrots which aren't purple at all from the other bit for my mum to try. So I'll just take this cabbage here for my mum, and then if I've got time I'll take out the rest of the cabbages here because they're blowing a bit now, and I should have harvested them sooner. So if I get the chance I'll take them out today, and if not I'll clear them when I come back. I've really fallen in love with the courgettes this year. I grew them last year and I liked them, but I only really used them in soup. This year I've used them in frittatas and just sautéed on toast, and they've been absolutely delicious, or with tomato and onion in a pasta sauce, something like that. So they've been really, really good this year. We've used them a lot. I'm really pleased that I grew them again. The basket is really getting a bit heavy now. I've picked quite a lot of courgettes because I know my mum will use up them, and if I make a frittata for her we will use up quite a lot then. And I've got a handful of beans here, but I haven't done very well with my beans this year, so I think we won't have many more of them as far as I can see. So I'll just get on with harvesting these leeks and then we'll move on to the cucumbers. These first 3 plants here are gherkins, so I'll harvest them more for me than my mum because I'll pickle these, and my mum doesn't really pickle things. I'll just give her the normal cucumbers. Well, some of them anyway. Whilst I'm on the subject of cucumbers, if any of you are new to gardening and you're planning to grow cucumbers next year, when you harvest them, and the same with the courgettes, the stems are really prickly, so it's best to try and wear long sleeves and gloves if you're doing it. And also the skin is prickly, but that'll just come off. You can rub them off, that's no problem. And sometimes with the outdoor cucumbers they can be a bit bitter. Now usually if you have got a bitter one, it'll be bitter at the top of the cucumber, and then as you go down it'll just get like a normal cucumber. So if you are growing your own cucumbers, I always cut the top bit off and try it first, because I did chop up a cucumber once and put it in a salad and the bottom bit was fine, but the top bit wasn't, and of course I'd mixed it all together in a salad, so we just had to leave all the bits of cucumber. So I just wanted to give you that warning really. I've now moved on to harvesting some tomatoes, and for those of you who saw my last vlog, you know that I attempted to straighten out my tomato canes that had all flopped over in my garden, and I did manage to get that done this morning. So if this vlog doesn't go on too long, I'll show you that. I'll tag that on to the end of this video. But I'll crack on with these tomatoes and I'll check if there's any raspberries ready as well. So here is the end harvest. I'm very pleased to be taking this home for my mum. She's going to really enjoy most of this. And my dad will, but he's not quite so that fond of food really. He just eats it because it's fuel and he has to. But my mum will enjoy it. As you can see, there are some that are red and need picking, which I would missed yesterday when I did the harvest because they were covered in foliage. So I've been really vigorous with side shooting, so there's not really much foliage left on any of them now, you can see. But I'm glad I got that job done before I went on my holidays. And thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed the harvest, and I shall catch you next time. Lovely job!